While global giants were packing their bags and fleeing Africa's unstable markets, one local family was making a move that would rewrite the rules of African investment. While multinational corporations were pulling out because they feared the volatility of the naira, the visionaries behind Indomie stayed, and they didn't just stay, they dominated. They took a massive $70 million bet on Guinness Nigeria when others were running for the hills, and today, that stake is worth an estimated $350 million. This isn't just a story about one successful business, it is a masterclass in African economic sovereignty. To understand why this move was so revolutionary, we have to look at the landscape of the last decade. For years, the narrative from the West was that Africa was too risky. When currency fluctuations spiked and infrastructure hurdles became daunting, Western firms often chose the path of least resistance. They exited. They pulled their capital back to safer shores, leaving a vacuum. But while the West saw risk, the leaders behind Indomie saw opportunity. They understood something the global giants failed to grasp: local presence is the ultimate currency. They weren't just looking at a quarterly profit, they were building an empire in a space where they understood the culture, the palate, and the long-term potential of the Nigerian consumer. They recognized that while others were looking for an exit strategy, they needed a growth strategy. This is the difference between being a guest in an economy and being an owner of it. When we break down the numbers, the math is staggering. The jump from $70 million to over $350 million isn't just a lucky streak, it is the result of strategic patience. They invested in infrastructure, in brand loyalty, and in the sheer grit of local production. While many multinationals were fleeing because they couldn't handle the complexity of Nigeria, the Indomie family embraced that complexity as their competitive advantage. Like this video help more Africans see this story. It is time we highlight the winners who are building our continent from the inside out. Let us talk about the players involved. The brand Indomie is no longer just a noodle, it is a household staple across West Africa. By anchoring their interest in a powerhouse like Guinness Nigeria, they didn't just enter a market, they solidified a fortress. They understood that by aligning with established local giants, they could weather the storms of inflation and policy shifts that often cripple foreign-owned entities. They mastered the stay and build philosophy. While others were looking for a quick flip or a short-term trade, these entrepreneurs built something that fits millions. They understood that in Africa, the most valuable asset isn't just capital, it's trust. When a local brand stays through the hard times, they earn a level of loyalty that no foreign marketing budget can buy. But why does this matter to the rest of us? Because this is the blueprint for the Africa Rising movement. We are moving away from an era where we were merely suppliers for the West, and into an era where African corporations are the primary architects of our own prosperity. This isn't just about noodles or beer, it is about reclaiming the narrative. When a Nigerian family beats the system by staying when others flee, they aren't just making money, they are building a precedent. They are proving that Africa doesn't need savior capital to succeed, it needs bold local leadership. They are showing us that our challenges, the hurdles that make foreign investors run, are the very things that create opportunities for those with the courage to stay and innovate. Subscribe for honest, Pan-African analysis you won't find on CNN or BBC. We are seeing a shift in the global order. The center of gravity is moving toward the global south. When African entrepreneurs own the manufacturing, they own the supply chain. They own the distribution. And most importantly, they own the future. This story proves that when we stop looking for permission from the West and start trusting our own capacity to navigate our own complexities, the rewards are exponential. What this means for the next decade is clear: the risk that scares the West is the opportunity of the African visionary. We are moving toward a continent where local brands aren't just alternatives, they are the gold standard. The Indomie family didn't just win a bet on a company, they won a bet on their own ability to lead. As we look toward the future, let it be known, our growth will not be dictated by those who are afraid to stay. It will be led by those who see our challenges as hurdles to clear, not walls to stop them. Africa isn't just rising, it is taking ownership. Check out this next video on how African manufacturing is disrupting global supply chains. The era of the African owner is here. What do you think? Was their decision to stay when others left the ultimate move for African independence? Let me know in the comments below, I am reading every single one.